Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make beats that will get you one of these. AKA waiting months for a label to pay out your advance and then just paying for that yourself. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you've probably seen other videos talking about how to get placements or how to make better beats that artists will actually use. And it can get pretty easy to get sucked into this rabbit hole of where you're like, what's the best way for me to get placements and make beats that artists will actually use? I myself have watched dozens of those kinds of videos, and now that I've gotten my fair share of placements and have actually went on Billboard, I wanted to make this video to help just clear out all the clutter. So here are the 5 essentials that you need to make beats that artists will actually use and will go on Billboard. Hopefully. Let's get into it. Alright y'all, quick little costume change. And as you can see, I made a Google Slides here. This is about as advanced as we'll get on this channel. But anyways, I present to you making a beat that goes Billboard in 5 steps. First step is to make a unique and catchy melody. When you're making your melodies, you should aim for something that's memorable, that can just stick into the listener's head. And when you think about it, when you're sending out beats, the melody is the first thing that an artist will hear. And that kind of determines if they skip or if they use your beat. And it's the same thing with producers too. If you're sending out samples, the melody is the first thing that they hear. So to start off, I got this sound from this VST drama. That is not what I wanted to record. Okay, I'm just gonna layer it. Going back into the slides, one of my favorite way to make unique and catchy melodies is to just get a unique sound and then make a somewhat simple pattern with that. If you don't like have any VSTs that have crazy sounds, is to get unique one shots. So I'll go to my Cosmic Files multi-kit and then let me go to a key here. So something like this that has that texture behind it too. And it just kind of fills in the melody, just makes it a lot more unique. Bro, this VST is fire as heck. Also, when you guys are making your melodies, a good thing to keep in mind is to just clone VSTs. When you're adding in a pattern, it's pretty easy to do what I just did, or was going to do, which was just clone it and then keep on adding onto it. But that gives you a lot less room to actually customize and be versatile with like flipping your sample if you want to do that, or just arranging it differently. So just make sure that when you have a main part of your melody down, just clone it, and if you want to add on, do that in a separate instance of the VST. Let's pitch this down and then put the tempo down. These are all the effect VSTs I added here. Okay, so here's our melody that we have so far. Before we add more melodies, move on to the next step, which is to stay simple. It's difficult to realize how much room an artist's voice actually takes up until you really see how much room an artist's voice takes up. So to show this, I'm gonna insert this acapella. This is Travis Scott's Butterfly Effect song acapella. Let's just take a listen to this. Do you see all these frequencies that are like everything from the high end all the way to the almost the sub here is being taken up.
For this life I cannot change. In the hills, deep off in the main. Eminem, sweet like candy cane.
An artist's voice takes up so much room, so you want to make sure that you have more than enough room for an artist's voice to go on top of whatever you're making. Also, less is more. Having simple stuff can allow each element to have its own purpose and actually stand out within the track. A lot of times when you add too much, it'll end up just taking away from what's supposed to be shining within the beat. And I think the best thing that you can do when you're sending out beats or sending out loops is to put yourself in the mindset of the artist or the producer. When you're sending out beats, the artist, while they're going through beats, like they're thinking, can I rap on this? You know, if the beat has 20,000 spins and Zay 808s playing at one time, they can't rap over it. Same thing with producers. When they're going through loops, they're immediately thinking like, can I put my drums on this? You know, if all that space is already taken up, then they're just gonna skip. me pitch this all up real quick. And now here's what our sample sounds like. So before we move into the drums, moving on into the next step is to understand the vibe and the sound selection. And now this is where a lot of producers actually screw up. Like a lot of times we can have like a great melody that we're working with, but just because we're so used to adding in certain drums, spins, Lex Luger clap, south side hi-hat, that can actually kind of ruin the beat because it can just take away from the feeling that you get. You should really be looking to choose sounds that glue themselves to the beat. Almost like, just think of it like a magnet. Like this is your beat right here, and then this is the sound. Like the sound should want to just like a magnet just connect together like that. In case you haven't noticed, I'm quite passionate about this. But one reference to this is the song Goosebumps.
Get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side.
Everything is so cohesive together. Every single sound has a purpose, and it fits into that vibe that we get with the song. It's like that eerie, dark vibe. Like everything just matches so perfectly together within that beat. And you want to do that with your beats too. Even as easy as it might be to just throw in the sounds that you know are gonna pretty much sound good with any beat, you should try to really find sounds that are gonna just glue together. Also for number 3, one thing I forgot to mention is that frequencies do matter a lot. I didn't realize this when I first started producing. You got to make sure that there's no frequencies that are just constantly crashing with each other. And once you like make beats for long enough, you'll start to hear it. Like you'll add a sound and you'll start to hear the frequencies clashing together, and you'll choose a different sound based on that. But if you're not really at that level yet where you can hear frequencies and hear clashing and muddiness, just go to different sounds like with your melodies and see what frequencies they're taking up. So this is definitely taking up more of the mid end over here. So then if I wanted to add on melodies, I'd stick to something that's more on the high end, and then maybe something low end like a bass. Fourth step is to find the rhythm. When your beat really just kind of flows together as one, just like how we listen to Goosebumps, that makes it infectious for listeners. Especially when you have a beat that has a solid rhythm to it, artists can easily catch their flow. For an example of this is a collab that I did with Young D that he posted. I made the loop and he did the drums, but I want y'all to just listen to the rhythm that's in this beat. Did you see how like his 808 pattern was kind of following the piano hits that I added? I think that is like a perfect example of a beat that kind of flows together as one and really has a solid rhythm down. We have the full beat, this actually just leads me into my last step. That is the structure. A lot of hit songs will pretty much follow the same structure, and that just makes it a lot easier for listeners to listen to the actual project or the song. Think of your structure as a wave from start to finish. So the wave, you know, it starts off flat and then it comes up and then it reaches its peak and then it comes down. But while the wave is going, there's all these different things that are happening. Like the wave is constantly evolving. So I like to think of it like this, because we'll have our intro, then we'll have the drums, and then we'll have something like the outro over here. But the wave is kind of always changing as it goes, and that's why you want to include just not major differences, but just really subtle minor differences within the beat to spice it up and make it not so repetitive. So pretty much the normal layout that you want to stick to is an 8-bar intro, 16-bar verse, 16-bar hook, a bridge, and then you would repeat that 2 more times from the drums like this, and then you'd have your full beat. But of course, that's just a general guideline. You can mix and match it up however you want. But one thing to keep in mind is that when you send a beat off, like the engineer will cut it up to how they want, so it's best just to keep it simple. You don't need to add like these crazy transitions and effects and switch ups. So anyways, y'all, that's how you can make a beat that'll go Billboard in 5 steps. Let me know down in the comments what other videos you guys want to see, and if you guys did enjoy this, I'd appreciate it a lot if you guys subscribe. But let's listen to the full beat. Go get those plaques. That's it for me. I'm out.